say that, something just came to mind. And
we are glad to have Jonathan Sparks with us today on Experts for Business. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Such a pleasure to be here, guys.
You know, I have, as a professional wakeboarder, a job that may seem enviable to some people. I get to go out in the water every day and do what I love doing, wakeboarding. There's really no one out there to challenge me to do better other than myself. So the pressure to perform comes from within.
You know what, my dad's, because I got to say dad's, my real father was a Vietnam vet. He was Army. My stepdad was a Vietnam vet, Navy, and then my other stepdad was the founding member of the Black Panther movement of the 70s from New York City. So I am well diverse when it comes to the Democratic platform, but my grandparents was the very first interracial couple of Jackson County, Georgia. He was white, she was black. So I learned what diversity is, what it means in my family. But one thing that my family has always taught me is that you do your own research.
At 9 months old, I was adopted by my mother and father. So that happening in my life completely changed my life and in large part made me who I am today.
So that biological moms don't have to go to an adoption agency and adoptive parents don't have to go through an agency, because those costs are typically anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000.
Now, I've got to interject here for a moment.
Sure.
And please don't take an offense, because you are an attorney. But why the high cost? Is this attorney's fees? Is this state fees? Why does it cost so much?
The book has now grown to have 11 chapters, I believe.
Right.
And we are not colorblind. We've had to examine the social issue of racism, of color blindness. If we're colorblind, that's a medical condition. It can also be a spiritual condition because we can see colors. For instance, your eyes are green, your hair is blonde. Your skin is what people would call fair. I wear my hair in ginger and salt on purpose, and I have brown eyes, and my skin is brown. However, we are human beings created in the image and likeness of God. We're not separated by skin color. God did not do that.
What was it like the day after the election?
Oh, the day after? Well, the normal day after election didn't happen for about 10 days after the elections.
Key was the other states that are smaller than Florida and Texas. And once you get enough of them, it doesn't matter what.
Yeah, so like even if you look at the SEC primary, because Mississippi didn't get in, you know, you kind of got Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma out there, and they've got their little block, which we're counting in ours, and we should. This race is a dead heat, and it's ours to win. We are going to victory, and I will be your Republican nominee.
Our Constitution was based on the Bible, and the God of the Bible states that birth and the ability to procreate comes from Him. It's a gift that He gave every woman. And when we are aborting at that kind of a rate, we can't even measure how our legacies have been impacted.
But life will be regarded and respected in America, regardless to skin color, socioeconomic condition, regardless to the human condition. It's time to end all crimes against humanity, and abortion's at the top of that list.
A few years ago, I switched parties. It wasn't difficult. I woke up one morning and looked out at my community. And my community on that day was worse than it had been in the last 50 years. 50 years of Democrat management, 50 years of Democrat politics, and we were just worse off.
fellow Americans, brothers and sisters in Christ. February in America is called African American History Month. And I want to share with you a talk on religious liberty from the perspective of African American history, and think on the theme as I share America, the Promised Land. America is the greatest country in the world. Because of the freedom that we share in America, we can dream dreams in our nation, and in our country, all the resources necessary for our dreams to come true are available to us in our country through faith, through character, and through education provided in our great nation.
Sometimes I find myself shaking unfriendly hands because, as you may gather, there are many around this country who don't want or like my message. In my movie, The Runaway Slave, you can get that on Amazon. You can go to runawayslavemovie.com. Follow me on Twitter, @RevCLBryant. But in my movie, Runaway Slave, everybody's featured in it, from Dr. Thomas Sowell to Andrew Breitbart, a great good friend of mine.
Do you promise to keep yourself only unto her so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Awesome. Now, Tracy, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to live with him in the holy estate of matrimony as God has ordained? Forsaking all others, do you promise to keep yourself only unto him so long as you both shall live?
I do.
I, James,
I, James,
take thee, Lucretia,
take thee, Lucretia,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
for richer or for poor,
for richer or for poorer,
in joy and in sorrow,
in joy and in sorrow.
And I promise my love to you,
and I promise my love to you,
as long as we both shall live.
longer than we both shall live.
Okay.